Okay, get started. Sorry. Sorry about that. Please start.
It was post World War II era, so everyone who were entering in the market of aviation. So for the America was the core in the aviation market. So then in the late summer 1949. British Overseas Airways Corporation came into the role, where it launched first jet-powered aircrafts. Before it was piston-powered aircrafts. So which made them So it was turning at the height of 10,000 degree altitude. So it caused noises and a lot of trouble to the. It wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah. So in 1952, the Comet 1 came into service. It was the first commercial jet aircraft airliner. So it was promised to travel faster than the previous aircrafts at a height of 40,000 feet, avoiding all messy weathers and giving a passenger comfortable travel experience with less noise and all. So, and it designed attracted the passengers with a modern and sleek design. Is that right?
A quick comment. You are already 5 minutes into the presentation. You are not moved by the second slide. You, as a group, decide what you need to do.
Yeah.
Okay? You have only 20 more minutes.
The first incident occurred on first Comet 1 incident occurred on October 26, 1952, which at Rome, Italy. Then it was marked under unclear circumstances. Then in 1953 May, Calcutta the other incident took place in Calcutta. So which it gave it was due to weather conditions, and this incident raised early concerns about the structure, durability, and all. Then the other incident took place on January 10, 1954. It was launched from the Rome to London and crashed after 30 minutes of takeoff. And then on April 8, another incident took place in 1954 from near in the Mediterranean Sea at the height of 35,000 feet. All incidents took loss of 99 lives.
So these were the two incidents that people really care about. So after the
Use the pointer.
So there were many similarities in both of the incidents. After the first incident happened, the British government asked the Royal Aeronautical Establishment to solve the mystery behind the crash. When they looked at the wreckage area after the crash, they found that the wreckage had spread over a very wide area. So conclusion that the plane had burst mid-air and had not crashed into the ocean in time. So after, and also they found that they came to this conclusion that the plane must have burst mid-air, and they tested an experiment to.
The team built a perspex model of the fuselage, 1/10 the actual size. The cabin includes 28 major seats with 6 guys. The model is housed inside a pressure chamber, where the pressure in the fuselage is increased to 8.25 pounds, the equivalent of flying 12,000 meters. The team deliberately ruptured the model. The team built a perspex model of the fuselage, 1/10 the actual side.
So after they found out that the plane had exploded mid-air, these were the conclusions that they came to. The first fatal flaw in this was the stress concentration. So because of the square windows in the Havilland Comet aircraft, there was stress concentration here around the cracks, around the edges of the windows. If there is circular windows, then the flow of stress is quite uniform, but because of this square windows, the stress concentrated around here may lead to even more cracks and more fatigue.
Thin aluminium skin. Rivets punched.
So these are some more design flaws in the aircraft. The first one is the thin aluminum skin. This thing was only 0.7 millimeter thick, which was very thin to withstand the pressurization and depressurization cycles that an aircraft undergoes. The other major flaw was use of rivets, use of punched rivets. Because of which there were micro cracks that were developed in the aircraft skin, which became weak points for stress concentrations and which eventually led to their failure. So this is an essay chart that represents the stress versus the number of cycles. So at any given stress, we can find out the number of cycles it would take plane to fail after pressurization and depressurization cycle. So this is a video. This is a photo that represents that windows of this undergoes pressurization and depressurization cycles. So there was a faults in testing. So the main fault was that they tested the aircraft at 2 peak pressure, which was the double the operation pressure. What that led to was like a material got cold work. So if you test the material at 2 peak pressure, the material characteristics fundamentally change. It becomes more strong. It becomes more brittle. So when they tested the material, they were actually testing the cold work material around the windows and around the plane. This is how material changes from original structure to this structure after cold working. And this led to the material failure. After this, the weight failure was in fast fracture.
Just to give some view what Anish said. Initially, there was a pressure test which was conducted, and this was conducted at an excess pressure, just to be safe. So when this was conducted at 2 P, the material got cold work, and then in cold work what happens is that this increases the tensile strength and field strength at the points of high stress concentrations. This is because at these points there are higher dislocations, which so there will be no pinning of dislocations, right? So when it was subjected to 2 P pressure, it increased the stress concentration there, and the material around the corners, like here on all these corners, they they got cold work and they had a high strength. So when what the mistake which happened? The mistake was that they subjected the same thing to fatigue. So when this happened, the fatigue test, the number of cycles which the pressure tested sample, the 2 P pressure tested samples could take were like 16,000 cycles. But actually, the actual method when it's almost in the sky, it can only take up P pressure. Like so, those materials, those corners, there were any there wasn't cold working, so they feel like much lower in the cycle. So primarily there is, so we can see that in 3 cases, there are 3 main reasons why this fails. One, high stress concentration around the spare windows in the border around the square, complex of the square windows, to punch welling. Now in punch welling, what happened was, when we give a lot more load, while in punch welling, punch welling is used to bring two surfaces of the aircraft together, but this created micro cracks around this. So these were points of propagation, fatigue propagation. And 3 was fast fracture. So in these regions, fast fracture is a fast phenomenon, and it leads to catastrophic failure. So already in regions of high stress concentration, the cracks which were already present, they started propagating, and which led to the failure around the legs and the windows. This is just a summary for what I said. Yes, this is actually a debris from the comet. So you can see that we find fracture around the corners here in both of these regions, and both of them are other because, like I said, it's the corners. Yeah, so the pressure tank testing. So the first, when four comets failed, and after the first 2 gained out weather conditions, the last two, after the last two, their license got cancelled, and after that they did a pressure tank testing. And in this testing, they had placed the fuselage in a water tank. And the reason it was placed, this was in a water tank testing, is because this reduced the amount of destruction, so we don't want explosion to happen. So to moderate that, this happened in a water tank. So there was water inside the aircraft and outside, and there were hydraulic lamps which kept the pressure cycles and which maintained the pressure. And here they noticed that the cracks and all the fatigue cracks, they all of them happened in points of high concentration. And yeah, because of that, from 16,000 from the expected 16,000 cycles, it went down to 2,000 cycles. Yeah, so this is a summary of all that we have. I'll just say everything. So initial crack, so this is the flowchart. Initially there were crack formations occurred around this the Karthikeyan edge are like the regions around the rivets. And this due to repeated cycles by each one cycle accounts for one airplane going on. It includes one takeoff and landing. That is one cycle. So, and then from after fatigue, it transitions to fast fracture. Fast fracture it requires very low energy, but and it happens catastrophically. Okay, so the frame cutouts which were present. Frame cutouts are regions in the fuselage. Fuselage, by the way, is the cabin of a plane. So the big frame cutouts around these regions. So these are the materials which are being cut out to probably place some other parts. And around these regions, these regions experience high stress, and because of that, the materials properties change. So the lessons which we learned from this comet accident are that fatigue awareness. This I think we've mentioned it multiple times already. The square cutouts and design evolution. Now after realizing the square. Now facing all the planes, we have an oval shape and windows which do not have edges. And improved testing. Yes, what are the major mistakes which they made while testing was to test to do peak pressure and using the same sample to test fatigue. I think now when they try to in testing they simulate what actually happens when an aircraft goes to what actually happens to the aircraft and everything. Phase shift, this is an important method which they follow now. Until the comets, they were only doing safe flight testing. Now they started fail safe. Fail safe involves including other components which are not even necessary for the aircraft to run or to actually take off or for the functioning of the aircraft, but it is required for in case of failure or in case of fracture, then they make support systems which take care of which prevent failure. And we have stricter policies now, and just to give a summary, this is the timeline of what actually happened. Like I said, these two incidents, the CST-1 and 783, this actually happened in Calcutta. These two, they were blamed on weather conditions in specific which were needed because the pilot had to control the aircraft because of the weather, so they didn't take it very seriously. But then after a year or so, almost a year, these are the only incidents which happened. This happened on the way to Elba and this is to Naples. Both of them have been very but here, this is all the case studies and all the analysis we have done is based on these two flights. And after that, the company's license got revoked. And then the water tank testing, which I talked about, happened. And then models started being produced around 1958 with all the threatening programs. These are the references.
So I thank the group for finishing in time. So audience questions, please raise your hand and Gopesh.
So you mentioned about gravity, I think, constantly. Can you explain what that is?
Okay, so constrainting happens when two separate pieces of the aircraft, and then they really want to make a more clean surface. The wheels which are punched, instead of drilling, it's very we apply pressure, we apply force to set the rivets, and this is basically what constraining is. But in our case, we saw that there were microcracks which were formed.
So we made it between punctuating and drilling is that punctuating is cheaper and it's like faster. But then microcracks are developed if you punch a hole with material. So during when this is in material manufacturing, riveting is probably not possible.
So nowadays, like aircrafts, we use.
So we don't. No, the methods are different. Punctuating and
I saw another hand go up. Maya?
So you explained something like the transition to fast fatigue took place, right?
Fast fracture.
Fast fracture, yeah. So how exactly do you conclude that it was fast fracture?
Because okay, in this slide, yeah, fatigue is basically it's a slower phenomenon, right? There is fatigue once a crack starts propagating, it's a faster. As you can see, this is quite a long fracture. This cannot be one as in like even if this had been a fatigue phenomenon, let's say, then they would notice it long back. But this happens over time. It's like the cracks propagate and then it's like it happens.
so when a crack is critical, then after that it expands very rapidly. So until that, during inspection, they are not really visible. So even after inspection, the cracks are really small to detect. But during mid-air flights, they will expand so rapidly and the entire aircraft will be visible.
So like
Mehul, you can save the other question for later. I have to. You have a question? Okay. Yes, sir.
What was that? You said that on over pressing, what will happen?
It's
So the pressure inside the rig is for the operating pressure is let's say P. So just to be safe, they tested the material at 2P. So when you test the material at 2P, what happens is that the fundamental characteristics, like the fundamental phase, the transform phase of a material changes. So the material transitions from that structure to this structure at 2P. So basically what they were testing was this structure. So and this structure is its strength is higher and the UPS is higher. So that's why the fatigue line that they estimated, it was much higher than the actual fatigue line of the production aircraft.
So because of pressure, the structure changed.
Yes, so this is the SFL of the gold material, this is the production material. So if you look at it, that's why all the
estimation cost.
Yeah, more estimate for all.
Okay, Sanjana?
You mentioned something about safe and then failure is not fail.
Space life and trade.
Can somebody else answer? Can you direct a question to somebody specific? In general, can people address their questions to somebody specific in the group, not to the group broadly? Who are you addressing it to? Yeah, okay, Mohana.
So safe life is the amount of time for a component, like it's sort of like expiry. It's like the amount of time a component can work safely and it's useful. Whereas fail-safe I already mentioned, it is more like a phenomenon, because in fail-safe what happens is there is another they use something called redundancy, and redundancy is what I mentioned before. Is where they use components which are not necessary for the working of the flight, but just to take care of the safety. So in case there's a fracture, there's like another mechanism through which the aircraft still remains safe. Also, there was after in fail-safe mechanisms, they also introduced something called crack to prevent the crack propagation. And here we saw that it was mainly because of the fatigue and the fast fracture. Now there are mechanisms to control fracture by the
Okay, I have a couple of questions and comments. Vamshi, this is a comment for you. You need to practice what you want to say. You can't just come, show up, and just try to present. It doesn't work that way. Okay? And please remember, if you're part of a team, you need to pitch in because you pull the team down by not presenting. If you don't want to do it for yourself, you have to do it for your teammates. That's why working in teams is a good exercise. All through your academic career or beyond, you will be working in teams, and you cannot be the rate limiting step. Yeah, just a piece of advice on how to present it. Okay, so question for you: what is the origin of fatigue here? This is fatigue-driven failure. What is the origin of fatigue in this case? Concisely, if you have to say, and others are not supposed to answer. Yeah. Okay, Mohana, what is the origin of fatigue here?
The fatigue is the pressurization and depressurization of the aircraft as it goes from, like I said, one cycle is one takeoff and landing. And what happened?
Okay. So this is for you. How does pressure translate to stress?
So the pressure inside the fuselage is different from the pressure outside the fuselage.
Yeah.
At 40,000 feet, the pressure outside will be lower, the pressure inside will be higher. So like every time a plane takes off, they'll have to pressurize the plane. So at 40,000 feet, the pressure inside will be much higher. So it will undergo a pressurization cycle, and then when it lands, they will then have to depressurize. So this pressurization, because of the pressure difference outside and inside, the material will expand and contract.
Correct. So is the stress experienced by the metal the same as the pressure, or is it different? Because the origin is pressurization, depressurization, but how does it translate to stresses?
So there will be like pressure will be, I think there will be normal stresses inside the fuselage.
Have you heard of the term hoop stress? In this context, this is a term you may have come across. Have you heard the term hoop stress? Can pressure cause plasticity?
No. Pressure cannot cause that.
So clearly this is not driven by pressure, right? You said normal stresses. What is the origin of the normal stresses?
The difference in pressure, plastic.
The difference is fine, but pressure, that's also, pressure minus pressure is still pressure. Pressure cannot cause plasticity. So what is causing plasticity?
So during gravity, the microcrab that
No,
basically
that's a different point altogether. Question for you. What is the aluminum alloy which is just here? Materials goes, you need to know the material. you need to know the alloys. Unless you know the alloy, what is the yield strength of the material? And how does the stress because of pressurization, depressurization compare to the yield strength? Okay, if you don't know, you don't know. Last question for you, Anish. Can you go to any of your SN curves? Yeah, sure. Fine. What you saw here, would that qualify as low cycle fatigue or high cycle fatigue?
And that would qualify as low cycle fatigue. The number of cycles that we did, they were approximately a few thousand cycles.
2000 cycles, huh? Okay.
When the pressure tested the material using the tag, it failed after 3057 cycles.
Okay, 3000 is not low cycle but close to low cycle. Fine. If you want to make a material better for low cycle fatigue, what property would you try to make better? If I want to change things from the material point of view, what would you do to make it more resistant to low cycle fatigue?
So, we probably performing some heat treatments or thermomechanical treatments for material, or choosing a material that inherently has a high UPS.
High UTS? No.
And the point at the left end of the curve is UTS, so for lower it will be high UTS.
Fine. Let's thank the speakers again. The next presentation is the Columbia Space Shuttle.